Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Coming Home with Jenny Oceans. I am your host, Jenny Oceans. The podcast for the person that are wanting and willing to grow and expand. And I want you to know that when you are tuning in, when you are choosing to receive of my words, you are choosing growth, you are choosing expansion. And you are investing your time into something that is going to gift you and compound more time. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to gift you time, and I want you to truly understand that. Whether you're listening before or you're new into this, welcome, and I celebrate you. I celebrate you for taking this time for you. Very many people don't. Celebrating you deeply. As always, I want to show my deepest respect for the original custodians of this land, Bundjalung country and the Yugambeh people. Respect for all who has walked before us, all that is walking with us, and all that will walk after us. For the beautiful, deep connection they have created with the land, to live on the land and off the land, truly and deeply honoring her with dance, music, song. Connecting with her seasons and her rhythm, understanding what she needs and bringing that in, and in true celebration and in honoring with that deep song and dance, understanding her plants and how to utilize them. Forever grateful to be able to call this place my home. Thank you. It's taking a deep breath in through the nose, and just let your breath really land as deep as possible into your belly. Oh yeah, once it gets down as far as it can, just hold it there for a little moment, and when you're ready, exhale. Let's do one more nice and deep, and you might ask yourself, why we're doing this? It's a podcast. It's because I want you to truly get into your body to be able to receive to its fullest potential and let the breath go. You know that we can do all of the mind work, we can do all of the things in our mind, but when we're not incorporating our somatic, our body, there is actually not as profound change that occur as if we were only doing the mindfulness, if we were only doing the affirmations, the meditations, all of the things with our mind, talking about it. If we're not bringing in our body into the practice, then our body cannot send signals to our mind that we're actually fine, we are safe. And if our mind can't receive that signal from our body, then our nervous system will not regulate. But that's not what I'm going to I guess it's everything I'm going to talk about today, but in a very different way. I felt really cool to come in and share with you that yesterday I hosted another beautiful ultimate cacao experience on the Gold Coast in Australia. It was our fifth event, I think. Absolutely beautiful, incredible, and they're always different. Every single time it's different, and yesterday was so different. And I'm reflecting back onto that, and I really want to come in and share it, that when we're choosing to take radical responsibility for our life, we really are the creators of that experience, right? Nothing went right yesterday, if you want to call it right. Nothing went to plan yesterday. And everything still was exactly how it was meant to be. And I could have chosen to fall into a heap and call it chaos. But I didn't. I have the most profound experience. Actually, one of the most profound experiences I've had probably since the last 7 years, when I've gone really deep into all of this work. And it was magic. But we've had the venue booked since January. All of a sudden, we could not host our event on today, the Sunday. It was meant to be on a Sunday. All of a sudden, we couldn't have it on a Sunday anymore because they double booked. And that was a bit frustrating. We had about 30 tickets sold. More than 50% were unable to attend on the Saturday instead. It's been very wet and very rainy. Our volunteers weren't able to help out. My beautiful event organizer was very unwell and wasn't able to be there. And yeah, I could have chosen to cancel, but I didn't. Thank you to my daughter. She loves the event because she gets to hang out with friends that she normally don't really get to see. That event is when they get together to be wild and free, right? And she said, let's do it on a Saturday. And I was like, oh, Saturday is not a great day for events, blah, blah, blah. Excuses coming along. Anyway, I said, let's do it. Beautiful Javier that was playing the handpan. He messaged me in the morning and he said, hey, it doesn't look good. And he sent me a photo of the boom weather. And I said, yes, it's looking great. It's going to rain. It's going to go out at sea and everything is going to be perfect. And we got to the event area and it was a mudslide. It was that wet that I was stepping, obviously bare feet, and mud was pushing through up my toes, in between my toes. It was so muddy. And I laughed. There was cars everywhere. There was private events on. There was cars everywhere. There was music, people walking around drinking. I said to myself, did I make the right decision? And I laughed. And I started carrying everything down. I blocked people in with my parking and I started carrying everything down to the area. And it was squishy and mushy and beautiful Javier turned up. And I was like, yep, it's going to be a fun day. And I started setting up. And then I called the beautiful man that lent me his professional massive DJ speaker. And I said, hey, mate, I have no power cord. He knows I'm sorry, I forgot to pack it. So I had no power cord. He goes, find a kettle cord, it will work. So I'm calling a few participants saying, hey, can you bring a printer or kettle cord? Anyway, we set up. It was beautiful. But also at that moment, I could have chosen to turn into panic and just absolutely freak out. But I didn't. I just rolled with it. I looked around myself. The creek is flowing beautifully. The birds are flying around. The trees are so green and beautiful. The grass is really green and muddy. The kids are having fun. People starting arriving. 1:30 we were meant to start. Hardly anyone there. Everyone was almost missing. People started trickling in. I'm waiting for a beautiful person to bring me one of these printer cords. And 1:30 we were meant to start, and I didn't have a speaker cord until about 2:15. I'm so freaking grateful. She brought the cord for me. Thank you. And I was like, okay, I think we need to start. And I said, I need to just center myself here. I need to just gather myself amongst this beautiful chaos. And then I sat there and I looked around, and the attendees that has chosen to come, there was 15 of us altogether, 13 attendees, and they sat there and they were just being. And I was like, this is so beautiful. They were watching the trees and just sitting there. We're just being in the moment. It's really beautiful. Anyway, nothing went to plan. We were meant to start with a welcoming, and then we're going to move into a little bit of dance and movement, and then we're going to move into cacao ceremony, followed by meditation, followed by breath work, followed by Javier playing the beautiful handpan and sound activation, and then the closing of gathering. Well, let me tell you what, none of that happened. None of it. Well, some of it. And it was the most profound experience. We had a beautiful cacao ceremony. The speakers wouldn't work properly because I have no idea how to deal with that. That's okay. And it was just so beautiful. The kids were having a ball, playing in the creek. Sun was shining. After having what feels like it's been raining for months every single day. And the sun came out. And it was beautiful. It was warm. It was beautiful. Creek was flowing. People were gathered to be together, even if all the changes had happened. And it was just so beautiful. And we sat down with Mother Cacao. And I wanted to, when I sat to gathering up in my mind, I wanted to speak into that if you were to choose to be the person you really want to be. You know, we all have a vision of who we want to be, but we just don't do the things because whatever reason. And that's what I wanted to bring into the gathering, that if you could just be who you truly want to be, who would that be? And what is stopping you? What is in between who you are right now and that person you desire to be? Like, what's in between? What would he or she be doing right now? And that's what I wanted to speak into. And I asked everybody to find their anchoring word for the ceremony. And then we went on a journey with Mother Cacao, and she was really deep into heart space, really, really deep into heart space. And it was so beautiful, and I was just guided to share the experience of walking up the creek and meeting that younger self that asked, why did you stop being fun and adventurous, and why did you become so serious? Why did you choose to become so serious, and why did you let go of the fun? I'm sitting there in ceremony and sharing my words coming through intuition from my higher self, from source, and I'm laughing, and it's just so joyful. And after that, we were going to move into breath, and Javier started playing, and I just went into this trance that I actually couldn't speak. Everyone was laying down, and I actually couldn't speak. There was no words. And I just sat down and I received from Javier, listen to the magic in this drum that he creates. It's true medicine. And I really felt that I left my body. I had such a profound experience. And as I sat there and being fully in trance, I had these beliefs, these limiting beliefs, if you want to come through. And I'm going to share with them. I'm going to be vulnerable. It's Jenny Ocean's real, raw, and authentic always. There's so many people disliking the word authentic at the moment. That's okay. You can dislike it as much as you like. I like to say it. And as I sat there feeling so delicious, like I honestly felt so peaceful, I felt so present, I felt so in the moment, I was feeling so connected to my heart, to my body, to the earth. And my monkey came and she goes, Jenny, nothing is how it was meant to be planned. And I sat with that and I went, that's okay, because we're all still enjoying. And I was, Jenny, you have no idea what you're doing. You're planned in work. People are sitting around you right now expecting something from you, and you are giving them nothing. And just saying that now makes me feel a bit sick in the gut because it wasn't true. And the powerful thing is that because this is what I do for a living, and the conversation is going to move into that, I removed that belief and a few other beliefs in that moment. The belief that I had to create this magnificent big thing and I had to follow routine to be potent and powerful. I removed that belief, and I really did. I actually removed it. I reprogrammed my mind in that moment through my soul, but also through my body language, and it's removed. And removing the belief that I'm not good enough. The belief was keep coming through, you're not good enough. And I truly and deeply removed that in that moment. And then I moved into this deep trance where I actually left my body. And you might listen going, that's weird. Well, it was profound. I really did leave my body, and my soul was so full of gratitude. My soul was so proud of me for how I composed the ceremony, and how I accepted and allowed and welcomed flow. And I could listen to that creek, and I was like, yes, it's just flow, Jenny. Just allow for life to be what it's meant to be. And I just felt so good. I felt so vulnerable. I felt so humble, so grateful, and so full of love. And I truly felt surrounded from the inside out of such pure magic. I felt so held, so supported, so nurtured. And I honestly felt so good. And I sat there and I was like, man, there was a time in my life where I was running not to stand still. There was a time in life where I was riddled with anxiety and I just didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep moving because I was so afraid of stopping and just being by myself, not in physical by myself, but with myself, with my mind. I was so scared of being with myself that I was always so busy. And I sat there and I felt so good. And I just wanted to stay in that moment of stillness. I didn't want to be anywhere else. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to move. I just wanted to stay there. And I just felt so good. And I thought to myself, I can just stay here for hours without feeling any guilt or any need of doing anything else. I could just stay in that moment for hours. And that made me feel really proud of myself for the work that I've done to be in this state of actually just wanting to be and feel that feeling of feeling so good, just receiving and being. And then I could feel on my left side, I could feel that I was being watched. So I opened my eyes and my beautiful friends are sitting filming me. And then I look around and everyone was sitting up, watching me and Javier. And that moment was like, oh my gosh, is this a dream? Is this actually a dream? And I'm so grateful for my friend for filming it because she sent it to me and I've been looking at it so many times and I'm zooming in and I watch my face and I'm just sitting in such beautiful state. And it's real, guys. It's fucking real. It was so real. It was so real, it didn't even feel real. And I've been sitting with that. I've really been sitting with that today. And then after we got out of that beautiful trance, beautiful Javier, someone said, can I share? And I said, absolutely. And we sat in such a beautiful, intimate gathering. And Javier's like, let's share the microphone around. And we did. And as always, everyone have a different experience. We can all read the same book and get a different message. And everyone started sharing. And everyone had such a beautiful experience in that moment. And when I was sitting there listening to everyone, I just felt so humble and so grateful and proud, not forgetting that I was so proud of myself because my mind was telling me that these people were disappointed and upset with me because I wasn't giving them anything. And I removed that belief. And then I got not approval, but confirmation that they all received so much beautiful through that. It was just so beautiful and so potent. And today I've just received so many messages of people being so grateful for being there and asking to come to the next one, and just real grateful and feeling really blessed. And tonight I made myself a cup of cacao and I sat with the cup, and what came to me was another beautiful friend she shared about someone calling her delusional. And it's something that goes around a lot. I've been called delusional for years, to be honest. Like I've always been called that I'm delusional. I'm living in a fairy tale world and my life is not reality. When are you going to come into the reality, dear Jenny? When are you going to live in reality? And I sat with that message weaving through as I sat in front of my fire with my cacao, and it was weaving through, and it was like, well, I'm delusional. And I watched that video I've just been talking about, and I said to myself, there I am on a Saturday afternoon feeling, oh, thumbs up just happened. That's funny. And I was sitting there on a Saturday afternoon feeling an absolute trance, feeling so good, surrounded by incredible human beings that are wanting more out of their life, that are taking the Saturday afternoon to gather in community because they want more out of life. Receiving from beautiful Javier, sharing the medicine of Mother Cacao with the community. On a Saturday afternoon, I'm doing this. This is my work. This is my job, J-O-B. This is my work. Surrounded by absolute divine nature, listening to the children playing, having my daughter with me at work, and just sitting in this beautiful trance-like state and being paid for that. And that's my job. And I sat with that today and I was like, and they call me delusional. And the people that are mostly, well, actually, all the people that are telling me that I am delusional are people that work 5 days out of 7 at a job that they most of the time complain about. And they spend 5 days to get to the thank God it's Friday, so that they then can have 2 days of just forgetting about the past 5 days. And they're telling me that I'm delusional. And there I was on a Saturday afternoon with my daughter at my work, sitting barefoot with muddy feet on the earth, sharing medicine of Mother with community under the open sky in nature. And that's my job. But I'm the delusional one. And that is my work on a Saturday afternoon. And to be honest, that's what I do 7 days out of 7. And I'm not saying that I'm holding an event every day, but I sit in nature every day and work. And I don't wait for Friday because every day is like a Friday for me. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's no difference for me. But I'm the delusional one. And he made me laugh. And I also sat with that. And I was like, what became really clear for me on Saturday when we sat in that gathering was, this is why I am so open to receiving financial abundance, because the more financial abundance I receive and create, the more of these events I can create more frequently, bigger event, making them available for everyone no matter their circumstance, and being able to create this feeling and experience in various places for a very large scale of people, and not having to charge ridiculous amount of money because I receive financial abundance in other ways. And I can gift back to my community and create more bigger communities so that people can feel and receive and experience what it feels like to just be in the moment and really enjoying and loving that. And that just felt so good for me. I was like, that feels so delicious. But still I'm delusional one. But still I'm the one sitting on a Saturday bare feet with my feet fully muddy on the earth, drinking chocolate, if you want to call it that. Having my daughter with me at work, but that's my work, but I'm the delusional one. Yeah, I'm not sure who the delusional one is. And if it's me, that's okay. I'd rather be the delusional one then. It's a bit of a sidetrack, but I just want you to think about that when you choose to take radical responsibility for your life, the people around you are going to turn around and look at you like you are a pink elephant. They're going to be like, oh my God, what are you doing? And they're not going to understand, and they don't have to. But people are going to look at you like you are the delusional, the odd one. Because all of a sudden, like, look at my shirt. Freedom equals choice. And you're the one going, hey, actually, this is my life. And I'm choosing to do what I want to do with my life. And you know what? If you are someone that works 5 days out of 7 at a workplace and you love it, I am so grateful that you do. Because when I go to the organic health food shop, I want to be greeted with people that work 5 days out of 7 at that shop, maybe, and be greeted with like a warm welcoming hello, and they say my name. Hi, Jenny, how are you? And that's beautiful because they actually love their job. I've worked in cafes since I was 14 years old, and I've always loved my job. I've always greeted my customers with such joy, and I've always loved my job. The last job I had, I didn't enjoy because I wasn't treated right. So I was disliking it a lot, and all I wanted was to leave. So they asked me to leave. Thank you. If you're at a job that you love, that is amazing. I really appreciate that. Like, so grateful for all the people, that love their jobs. That's amazing. We need that. But don't go to a location and do a job for 5 days out of 7 if you don't like it, because it's not worth it. But anyway, I can't sit here and tell you not to do that, because if that's you, you're most likely not listening to my podcast, because I'm not aligned with you. You're going to listen to me go like, what the hell are you talking about? You're delusional. But when you get to the point where you're like, I like that delusionalness, and you realizing that this is your life and you don't want to spend 65 of your years, probably not, because up until you're 20, probably freaking delightful, hopefully, sometimes. But you realizing that you don't want to spend all of your days doing something you don't enjoy just to get through. And then you start to realize you want to change things up. You want to drink the mushrooms instead of the coffee. You want to try the essential oils instead of the toxins in the shop. You start looking at the labels and the products in the shop. You start reading books. You start listening to meditations. You might start wearing a little bit different clothing. You might buy yourself a deck of cards. You might light candles and incense. And you need to realize that you are going to look like the odd one out until your reality changes and you start calling in all of these people into your life that are aligned with who you are. But don't judge the people that think that you are different, because they're the people that have been in your life and all of a sudden you are choosing to change. That is a bit different, we've been going to McDonald's every Friday afternoon for 10 years. All of a sudden, you want to eat a salad. Why would you like to do that? Well, darling, we've been using nappy sand our whole life. Why do you now want to use washing soda? What would you do that for? You're the weird one out. And I want you to realize that. And that's okay. I freaking prefer being the weird one. But what I want to say is that if you're still here listening, you are at a state of a life, could be different varies, but you have realized that this is your life and you want more of your life than what you've been gifted. You want more out of this life. So go and do the things that you feel called to do. Start reading the book, invest in the course, invest in the program, get curious, ask people questions. And I sat and thought of that today, and I'm like, I wasn't taught, I didn't grow up in a household where you learned about nutrition. Oh, thumbs up again. I didn't grow up in a household where we used low tox things. I didn't grow up in a household where we thought about connecting to yourself. This was new for me, It's been a 20-year self-development journey, but when it started coming to the really deep embodiment part, let's say that the first 8 years... 19 years it's been. The first 8 years was all in my mind. The self-development in my mind. I listened, I watched, I read, I did the things, but there was no embodiment of anything. When I fell pregnant, I chose to change everything. I remember I threw every product out of my bathroom because I didn't want any of it. So there is so many little baby steps, and it transformed your entire life. And now I sit here, when I sat at that event yesterday, in such pure bliss, not drinking energy drinks, not drinking coffee, being barefoot in the mud, serving cacao for community, having children running wild and free. You know, there is so many steps, so many pieces of the puzzle that you can't just say one thing that has changed. You know, I drink 2 liters of water a day. I drink mushrooms. I drink cacao. I don't eat all of the shit I used to. I still eat unhealthy things sometimes. I drink Chilogy and lemon. And what else? I have elderberry syrup. I use essential oils for everything. It's my first aid kit. I use essential oils for everything. I use washing soda for my clothes to wash. I use vinegar instead of fabric softener. I only drink rainwater. If I go places where there's no rainwater to drink, I will bring my own water. People think you're weird. Again, I don't use scented candles. I have one candle later makes me special candles. I know exactly what's in it. I have 7 o'clock in the afternoon. My nighttime, my phone goes on Don't Disturb from 7 to 7. I don't watch television anymore. Yes, I watch movies sometimes, but I don't watch television. I haven't watched a television show for years. I don't watch the news, and I haven't for about 4 years at least. I don't read the newspapers, and I haven't for many years. There is very many things in the process. I don't use tampons anymore because I want to watch my bleed. I don't use any contraceptive anymore because I want to be connected and understand. I am not on antidepressant medication anymore. I don't go and see a psychiatrist every week anymore. I don't refer back to all of the trauma experiences that happen in my life as a negative thing. They're positive things that have created who I am today. I don't blame people for my everyday life. I take responsibility. I connect to my womb and my heart and my body every single morning before I leave bed and every night before I fall asleep. I look into Father Sun every morning. I make sure that I watch the clouds every day. I meet nature every day. There is so many pieces of the puzzle. You might listen and go, oh, wow. But it's a lot, you know. I've done a lot of study for the past few years, and I'm still studying at the moment. I'm about to get another, what do we call it, degree. We want to call it that. I study the brain. I study the body. I study the nervous system. I study the things. I delve into spirituality and study that to understand. Because I'm curious, because I choose to be the student, because I know that there is more to life than what we've been told there is. And when I sat there yesterday in such beautiful state, I was like, yes, and this is why. Because life is really amazing and delicious and beautiful. And life gets to be what we choose for it to be. And we can use all the excuses, but if you're still here listening, you have hopefully already or very soon you will make the decision to take radical responsibility for your life. And when you do that, even the shitty things, you are still responsible, which means that you are in control of your life. You are the conscious creator of your life. Yeah? Now that for me is everything. Call me delusional, I'd rather be. When we take radical responsibility, we stop blaming it on our boss. We stop blaming it on the red light. We stop blaming it on the financial fluctuations. We stop blaming it on the petrol cost. We stop blaming it on the potholes in the road. We stop blaming it on the cat on the side. We stop blaming it on our excess. We stop blaming it on our parents. We stop blaming it on the kids. We stop blaming it on the food. We stop blaming it on whatever else we can find, the rain. We stop blaming shit and take radical responsibility, because in every moment you have a choice. Like the event yesterday, I had a choice. I could call it a disaster, or I could take responsibility and take the reins and turn it into the most magnificent event ever, and I did. And when we take that responsibility, you also get to feel the proud, like the celebration, because you've taken the responsibility. No one can take that away from you. When you take responsibility, no one else has power over you because you take the responsibility. The shitty divorce, the shitty marriage, the shitty this, that's okay. You take responsibility now, if you choose to, and you hold the power of your life. You can't allow for someone else to make you feel sad or angry, all of the things, because you take radical responsibility. You can choose how you're going to act and react in a situation. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. You're incredible beings. Thank you for sitting here listening and receiving. And please know that I'm here to gift you time. If you've been here for the 35 plus minutes, you have gifted yourself time. You've gifted yourself the understanding of the steps to take to come into a state of just living the life you truly desire to be. And on that note, if you feel ready to take radical responsibility and become the human being that you truly desire to be, you're ready for that next step. We're not always ready. I wasn't always ready. But when you are ready, you will know. It will feel a little bit nervous. You will feel a little bit tingly. And you're like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And then, yes, you will go with your gut feeling that's telling you now is your time. Applications are open for Becoming. I invite you to come inside Becoming. 6 weeks of truly transforming your life. It feels a little bit scary to make the financial investment. It feels a little bit scary to make the time investment. But if you feel the niggle to invest, you feel the niggle take radical responsibility for your life, you're never going to regret that. And I promise you that because I've done it over and over and over and over again. I did the few $100 investment, the couple of hour investments, and they never felt really scary. They felt quite easy, and the results were always quite easy. They were never profound. The ones I did that was scary. There was lots of time. There was time away from my family. I was leaving my daughter away. It was finding thousands and thousands of dollars to pay for it. That felt a bit scary, and that gave me life-changing transformation. So if you feel called to come inside Becoming, I invite you, and I would love to have you there. Reach out, connect at jennyoceans.com, jennyoceans.com, or I am Jenny Oceans on the socials. If you've enjoyed what you listen to, please, please, please share with your loved ones. You are amazing and incredible. I celebrate you've taken this time for you. You're absolutely epic human being. And please remember that you are the creator of your life. It's whether you're conscious or unconscious creator of your life. You choose that. All the love. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.